What's up, guys? This is Brett Darian, and today is a very special day for nerds like me. This is the 20th anniversary of the Sega Dreamcast. The Sega Dreamcast came out 20 years ago today in North America, and so in this video, I just thought that I would share my thoughts and experiences of the Dreamcast that I've had over the past 20 years. It's hard to believe it's been 20 years and that I'm that old to say that Dreamcast came out 20 years ago, but it's real. Dreamcast is 20 years old, at least in North America. Now, the Dreamcast did come out in Japan in 1998, so technically it'll be 21 years old, but North America release, though, was probably the biggest release. So, with the 99.99 kind of thing. So that was all cool. But anyway, yeah, so the Dreamcast. So first I'm just going to, like I said, I'm just going to share my experiences with the Dreamcast and, how I first started playing it and everything. So the Dreamcast, the thing with the Dreamcast is that it was a very, technically it was part of the PS2 and original Xbox era and stuff, but it came out first. It came out kind of a weird time, like it was released a bit early, So anyway, when I first played the Dreamcast, it was actually when I rented the system, because back then you could actually rent game systems, and which is pretty cool. And I actually rented the Dreamcast, and the very first game I played on it was this game right here, Sonic Adventure. And when I first played Sonic Adventure, I was blown away. I was like, man, this is amazing. I have never seen anything like that before. And we hadn't seen anything like that before, at least not on game consoles. Because at the time, we only had the N64 and the PlayStation 1 and the Saturn and all that. But when the Dreamcast came along, you got real 3D, adventure games that looked great. And it just looked amazing. And so I was blown away by Sonic Adventure. I'm like, man, I gotta have this system, because this console's great. So that would have been late 99 or early 2000 when I rented the system. So then I did actually eventually get a used Dreamcast. I never bought one brand new because I was only 10 years old at the time, so I didn't have I didn't actually have any money, so my dad was buying me all this stuff. But anyway, so I got a used Sega Dreamcast. Came with the original box and all, and that was probably sometime in the year 2000. And of course, I got Sonic Adventure with it, and a couple other games as well. I got some other games over the years. And so I really enjoyed playing it. It was a great system. And so at this time, I had two systems. I had the Dreamcast, and I also had the N64. But then the PS2 got released. And that's what really hurt the Dreamcast, is when the PS2 came out. When the PlayStation 2 came out, it's like all people's attention was then on the PS2. It was not on this anymore, it was on the PS2. Plus the PS2 had a DVD player, and this did not, so that also hurt the Dreamcast. And unfortunately, I was part of that group. I sold my Dreamcast and my N64, both great systems, sold both systems to get a PlayStation 2 from Walmart. And this would have been 2001, probably, maybe early 02. Because I got the PS2 bundle that was in the red box that had Gran Turismo 3 bundled with it. And I remember that was $329.99. And it was... Yeah, so I was happy to get that at the time, but then in 2002, I realized that, hey, the Dreamcast was still a great system, and it still had great games on it, so I wanted to get it again. So in 2002, we went to EB Games, and we bought a used Dreamcast, and already at this time, they were already down to $60 used, so pretty cheap. And yeah, so I had that Dreamcast for a very long time. I had that Dreamcast for probably about I want to say it was more than 10 years. and then eventually it finally started to the laser started to wear out and it started to have trouble reading discs and everything. So I eventually just parted with it. Now it could have been fixed. I could have got a new laser assembly and all that, but the casing was also starting to discolor and everything. So I decided just to get rid of it. And then I got this Dreamcast, which I bought. This was like several years ago, and so I still have this one. So this is Dreamcast I currently have. I only have one. I wish I had the black sports edition and stuff like that, but I'm happy with this one though. And of course, it still works fine. So just a quick overview of the system. You got your power button here, and you got your open button. Then you insert a game disc right in there. And then you have your laser assembly. And then 4 controller ports, which is also really nice. The PS2 only had 2 controller ports, so you need to buy a multi-tap for that. So that was also very nice at the time. And on the back here, you got your phone line connection for your dial-up modem, which every Dreamcast, of course, came with a dial-up modem. Now, unfortunately, I never got a chance to play a Dreamcast online. I never got a chance to have Sega Net or anything. We just didn't have that at the time. And of course, you got your AV out, your power, and your serial port, which was for future use. Now, there is a broadband adapter for the Dreamcast. I wish I had that. It's not much use now. Technically, you could still browse the internet with it. However much use that would be. Of course, the web browser is very outdated, so most web pages would not load properly. But still very cool to have, and there actually is a community that keeps the Dreamcast Online scene going. There's this device you can buy called a Dream Pi, which is basically a Raspberry Pi, which is worked up to keep the Dreamcast online. So you could actually use the Dream Pi to still play online games, and there's several games that are compatible. I know Choo Choo Rocket is one, and some sports titles, and a couple of racing titles. I think Pod Speed Zone, or maybe that's coming soon. I can't remember. But anyway, yeah. So there is a community of people that are actually still keeping Dreamcast online. That's the thing. The Dreamcast, even though it's 20 years old, there are people that are very passionate about this console, and they are keeping it alive. So that's really cool, and it definitely deserves it, because Dreamcast is awesome. And the official last console released by Sega. Though, there's a footnote to that, because the Sega Genesis Mini is coming out later this month, and I did pre-order that, so there'll be a video on that coming out soon too. But anyway, though, so that's the system. So we'll talk about games now. These are all the games I currently have in my collection. As you can see, it's not a whole lot. These are just games that I like to play. So I'm not a sports fan or anything, so I don't have any sports titles in here or any of that. But there are still quite a few games that I'm missing. So first off, again, we already shown Sonic Adventure. I think this is a great game at the time, anyway. I mean, of all the 3D Sonic games, this is definitely one of the better ones. Like, even if you don't really care for Sonic Adventure, you gotta admit that this is one of the better. This is one of the better 3D Sonic games. This and Sonic Adventure 2, which is another game that I'm missing. I don't have Sonic Adventure 2. I wish I did, but I do not. Next up, Sonic Shuffle. Now, this is basically a Mario Party clone. This is basically Sega trying to cash in on the party game craze that happened in the late 90s and early 2000s with Mario Party. This game on its own is not terrible. Like, it is a good game on its own right. Definitely not as good as Mario Party. I mean, some people hate Mario Party, so if you hate Mario Party, maybe give this game a try. You actually might like it better. But it's still very luck-based and basic, game, party game stuff. So if you like party games, this is a good choice. And no other game came out like this for Sonic, so it's still cool to have. Now, Hydro Thunder. This is an awesome game. This is a very awesome racing game, and definitely the best version. This game also came out on the N64 and the PlayStation, but this game runs the best, it looks the best, and it's just a blast to play. I played this game a lot, and it's really fun. Now, Pen Triathlon. This game is kind of weird. This is a racing game, but you're not racing in cars or boats or anything like that. You're just you're walking, you're swimming, you're jumping, you're stuff like that. This is a great game to play with your kids because it's colorful, it's silly, it's fun for a few minutes. Not a whole lot to it. It's not hard by any means, but it is kind of fun. It's got funny animal characters. Like I said, great game for kids. Now, Walt Disney World Quest Magical Racing Tour. This game, I remember I was in Disney World when this game came out in the year 2000. I remember seeing it advertised on a bus. And I remember, like, this game I also have to have. And it was coming out for the Dreamcast. And I think it also came out for the PlayStation as well. But I never played that version. I only played this version. And so this is also a great game. It's a kart racer. So if you don't like kart racers, you probably won't like it. But it is. This is a fun game. It does have a lot of Disney-themed tracks, like the Dinosaur, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, Space Mountain, Tomorrowland Speedway, Disney's Blizzard Beach. So this is a great game to have if you like Disney. It's got all Disney characters too, like Donald Duck, Mickey Mouse, Jiminy Cricket. So Chip and Dale too. So a great game. Now, this is probably my favorite racer actually for the Dreamcast, and that is Speed Devils. I love Speed Devils. Speed Devils is great. I love this game. I remember playing this game a lot when I was a kid, and still love it just as much today. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's just the environments are cool, the music's great, the racing is fun. You get to buy cars, you get to upgrade cars, you can upgrade parts, which isn't really that, not different today, but back then I never played anything like this, and it was just really fun. Plus, like I said, the environments are cool. You get to race through, different weather. There's like a tornado even, and you get to race around that. So like, it's really fun. It's really cool. So I highly recommend this game. If you don't know what it is, play it because it's really fun. Seaman. Caution Seaman. Now, if you've been following me for a long time, you know that I've made quite a few videos on this game. They're on my channel, obviously, right now. You can check them out. This is a very weird game. It's a virtual pet simulator, if you don't know anything about it. You raise this man-fish. It's a fish with a man's face. and you raise him from when he's a little baby, and then he gets grown up, and he actually talks to you. And you can have conversations with them. It's very weird, but it's also kind of cool. And this game does require an accessory. And this game requires a microphone, which came with the kit, and that is this little thing right here. Now, this didn't actually look like this originally. It originally had a green foam ball for like a pop filter. And of course, this also had a cover on it as well. And those, both those things I have since lost a long, long time ago. But this does still work, and the only game that really supported, I think, was this game. Maybe in a couple others, some party game, music game, whatever, but I don't know anything about that. But yeah, Seaman. Very unique game. This is a good game. I like it. Some may think it's too strange or too creepy. I get that, but still, for what it is, I like this game. And if you're curious about it all, just check out my previous videos on it. It's pretty crazy. Shenmue. Now, since the release of the Shenmue 1 and 2 compilation on the PS4 and Xbox One, technically this isn't the best way to play this game anymore. But long story short, This is the original game that came out on the Dreamcast, and we got this game here in the States, but Shenmue 2 did not originally come out here in the States. So, but this is the original game. This is a good copy of the game, too. This is a mint condition copy. Now, this is Expendable. Now, this game is... this is a shooter. It's kind of like a... you're walking around, so it's not a spaceship shooter, but you are walking around, and you got 20 levels of filled action combat. This game is, this game's okay. It's not one of my favorites, but it's not bad. Now, and here we have Speed Devil's Online Racing. Now, I did a video on this. This game was mainly focused on the online portion of the game, which unfortunately, you can't play now. Hopefully one day they will get this working again. So far they still haven't. But when they eventually do, hopefully, then I will buy the Dream Pie, and then I will definitely play this game online, because I'm pretty sure it'd be fun. But as for the single player of this game is not a good single player game. Definitely play the original, but not this game if you're into the single player. And finally, the one thing I haven't mentioned yet is the Dreamcast still does get brand new games from indie developers. Not from Sega, but from indie developers. And but I only have one of those games, and that is this game right here, Stormwind. This game came out, I think, in 2013 or 2012. Let me see here, actually. This says 2013 on it, so yeah. So this is a spaceship shooter. This is a very good shooter. This game looks great. This game plays great. And this is a pretty good shooter. I mean, like shooters, most shooters are hard to play. Like, I have a hard time mastering them. But this game is just great. This is a very good indie game. And this has 16 levels. It's got huge boss fights and boss enemies. 3 weapons, 3 difficulty settings, and hundreds of different enemies. So this is a good game. I'm proud to have it. I don't play it very much, but it is a good game. So those are all the Dreamcast games that I have. And so finally I'll just show just the VMUs. Because the VMU was also a very special thing with the Dreamcast, because this is the memory card. VMU stood for, I think, either virtual memory unit or visual memory unit. Probably visual memory unit. So this was your memory card. But not only was the memory card, you could even play little games on it. So like in Sonic Adventure, you had the Chow feature, which is like which were like little alien creatures. So you could take those and then transfer them to your VMU unit and then play little mini games on it. So because it has a D-pad on here, it's got an A button and a B button, and a sleep button and a mode button. So very, very nice. There's been no other memory card like this to come out since. So very cool, very innovative, and you could even like link 2 VMUs together, like so, and then you can use that to transfer saves back and forth, or maybe even play games too. I'm not sure. You could probably do that. So the only bad thing about these is that these took these little like round CR2032 batteries, and these didn't last long. And then when they died, you would get this horrendous beep whenever you would load them up. So whenever you turn your Dreamcast on and you had and then you had a VMU controller, you would always hear this loud beep, and there's no way to turn it off or disable it. So the only way to fix it would be to keep buying batteries, and so that sucked. But the good thing is you don't need the batteries in here to actually save your games. So that's cool, but still the beeping is annoying. And these batteries have been here for a long time. I haven't changed them. But anyway, guys, yes. That's my story for the Dreamcast. The Dreamcast is a great system. It's been a great 20 years. And the Dreamcast is still getting new games. So if you're interested at all in new games, I would highly check out Adam Karolik's channel. He is a Dreamcast fanatic, and he does a whole bunch of videos on Dreamcast stuff. And whether there's a new Dreamcast game out, he does a video on it and shows gameplay. So if you're interested in that at all, I would highly check out his channel. But anyhow, for me, guys, this is my Dreamcast collection. So that about wraps it up for me. So happy birthday to the Dreamcast, and if you don't have a Dreamcast, go out and get one because it's a great system. And if you do have a Dreamcast, go and play some Dreamcast today because it's still a great system and the games are a blast to play. So anyhow, guys, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.